Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. Hello guys, welcome to another installment of the Film Biz Show. We're right in the center, the heart of Johannesburg at the Africa Rising International Film Festival, and I'm with a very exciting filmmaker, Miss Awande Dube. Welcome. Thank you, man. Thank you for the film that you have created, all the colors.
Uyangiphazamisa.
Uzothatha amabheki akho uhambe. Angazi noma kuzokujabulisa yini lo.
What a wonderful narrative it is. You were the line producer, financier, executive producer, director. You know, who wrote it, by the way?
Wenziwe Nkosi. She's actually just outside.
Phenomenal narrative. Please tell us, what is it that inspired you to create this very creative collage or paint this canvas, you know?
So what inspired me to create this film, or rather to take this film on, was my master's research. So this is the practical component of my master's in film and TV that I've been doing at WITS, which basically tackles representation about Black people in the film and TV world of South Africa. And so itching for a kind of representation that is more holistic, less stereotypical, less almost focused on a particular aesthetic. I was just yearning for something that just spoke about all the facets of what it means to have a Black experience, whatever the narrative is, and then see that on screen. And so my research is an interdisciplinary study between theatre and film. And because, you know, how we're going to find the solutions, we need to borrow from wherever we can.
True.
And having done my undergrad and my honors in theatre and performance, I was like, you know what, I think that there's some things that theatre has that could help film get to what it is that I think we need to get to. Obviously, my solution is not the be all and end all, but I feel like it's a start to getting there. And so taking on this particular narrative, I was like, great, we're dealing with something that's hard hitting, we're dealing with something that's heavy, we're dealing with something that's real, that happens to everyone. It may not be the loss of a grandmother, but the loss of a loved one, the loss of a best friend, you know. And also in the campus, or it encompasses love as well. And I was like, I really love that there's love that exists within this Black family. Even though one has gone, we're not representing Black people without love, without pain, without laughter, without grief, without remorse, without anger. It's like all the facets. And so I really was drawn to the narrative, but also I feel like I could bring out my research more through that. And I hope that answers the question.
But it definitely did read, you know, definitely without question, and hence the title, All the Colors. You know, if there's one word I could say is, you know, sticks out is wholesome. It's a wholesome story. You know, you get to understand the different dynamics and different colors of this individual.
Right.
You know, he experiences, you know, love and also heartache, you know, at the same time. And also we play with the elements of time, you know. And as that goes, I see how you also, you know, worked your magic with the colors, the actual, you know. Can you do you mind just maybe expanding a bit on that?
So with the time and everything and going back, that was just, again, my way of trying to incorporate theatricality, as I call it, because, you know, in theater we have the liberty to go back and forth in time in a way that's non-conventional. And so I hope it read that there was a bit of a non-linear, non-conventional way that we went back and forth a bit in the past, in the flashbacks, but also when he was running and he was experiencing a lot of the guilt from the last argument that they had. And so driving in the intentionality of color, I worked with my designer for that because, you know, as a director, you do have a say in how things go. But I was like, listen, Langa, this is his color, this is how the writer said it, but let's hone in on that because Langa's color is orange. So whatever shades of orange can work with the shades of life that he's experiencing. Whatever shades, if we had more time, obviously, because the film is a lot longer than what you saw. This is just what we could shoot. if we had time to go into Nomkosi's story and her color is green, we would have seen more of those different shades of green as well. And the color black as well, because we arrive at the grief. We arrive in the darkness. We arrive in the heaviness. And so balancing the symbolism of the colors as well as how it looked visually was not too bad. It was just something that needed a lot of conversation between myself, the designer, my assistant directors as well, because set was also crazy.
Oh man.
And just trying my best to make sure that the story comes through, because it is called All the Colors in One. It's important that you see the color gradient, and if we're not seeing the same color through up until the end, like you saw at the end, there was a sunset.
Yes.
And the sunset, I purposefully said to my editor and my grader, I said, listen, this sunset has to be vivid, because this is predominantly Langa's color. And I know sunsets are whatever color, but that particular sunset was more orange than it was any other color. And because he comes to like a full circle moment where it's like all the colors in one are culminating for him, it's important that we return to the orange being as bright and as vivid as it is, because he's been struggling to hold on to his brightness, as the grandmother says in the voiceovers throughout the film. So yeah, before I get into too much of that.
No, dope, man.
Yeah.
And as for the aspect ratio, why did you make the choice that you made?
I didn't necessarily make the choice, because the people that I chose to work with, I explained the vision to them. I explained what I was going for. I explained the manifesto that accompanies my research.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I'm looking for intimacy. I'm looking for the audience to feel almost immersed in the story, as one would if they were watching a theater show right in front of them. And so I think with that being said, my DOP then said, okay, listen, we're going to shoot it in this aspect ratio. We're going to focus on these particular contrasts and hues and whatnots. And this is how I'm going to light the set for you. Because I like to also give whomever I work with the freedom to interpret what it is that I'm saying. And then I come in and I say, no, that's not really what I meant. But most of them got what it is that I was looking for, which is then why you can then go, okay, the aspect ratio is actually 16:9. That works. And then I go, yes, that's what I wanted. I may not know all the terminology, but that's what I wanted. So it worked with the intention of the film and what I was trying to achieve from an audience perspective and how they're supposed to feel in relation to the film.
Finally, what would you like people to walk away, feeling from this wonderful film that you've created?
I would want them to walk away understanding that there are a plethora of Black existences that are allowed on screen, whether it's grief, whether it's relationships that are not told in the typical way that we've seen them, the love stories. There's many ways to be Black and it's okay. There's many ways to have a Black family and that's also fine. There's a lot of unconventional, not seen on TV or film, ways of being Black that exist. And this is like just a key and a door opening to that. But also over and above that, the importance of loving Blackness, which is like at the heart of the film. In as much as he's grieving, the love is there. And as much as he feels the guilt, the love is there. So regardless of whatever it is that we go through in our families, in our own spaces, in our relationships, we need to remember the love that will help us move forward as a people, because there's a lot that we need to get through, a lot that we need to grieve through, a lot that we need to fight through, and it's fine. But we must keep love central. So, yeah.
So as someone who's worked with you within the theatre space, I remember I wrote the piece which you
Yes,
directed.
I
Went
remember.
very well. I know your particular style. You're very much, a director who focuses a lot on rhythm, on the body, on using the whole tool holistically, And I could tell, this, the limitations of film is that, it's
just here. It's just here.
Yeah. So how did you try and kind of break those dimensions and bridge the gap? Yeah.
And that's my research, right? Bridging the gap looks like finding intimacy through the screen. Bridging the gap looks like finding an original score that I work with in studio.
It was beautiful.
You know, the voices. We had to do rehearsals. Finding the gap means I rehearse with my actors like I would in a theater show. Like I was rehearsing with them for 2-3 days, weeks before, going, okay, guys, this is the story. What do you think? Okay, cool. Let's run it. Okay, so let's play with this particular exercise, because in theater, we work a lot with exercises as a form of experiential knowledge for actors to be able to understand what it is that they're doing. Holding space for actors on set as well, because there were a lot of heavy scenes that didn't make the cut, but like the one where our main character is crying, that took a lot. The whole set stopped. And after I treated the actors the way that I did, a lot of the crew came back and said, whoa, dude, I realized that we actually abuse actors, because we would have just expected them to move on to the next scene, regardless of what it is. And I saw that you hugged them. I saw that you held space for them. You went to another room. You offered them everything. You made sure they were fine. And then you even gave them time. So bridging the gap looks like transitioning the stage, which is here, and just flipping it and putting it on the screen. So that in the process of my research and the making, I was like, actually, these two are not that different. The screen for me is the stage. It's just up there. And then the stage is just the screen on the floor, if I think about it. So things like storyboarding is like blocking in theater. Things like, obviously costume is the same. Things like grading is like, I don't know what, the nuances that you find in transitions, you know, making those things and going, okay, this is how it's usually done in film or classical Hollywood cinema, whatever it is that you're focusing on. And this is how I want to do it, because I'm trying to achieve this particular thing. So there were many connections that I found that I won't obviously speak now because I'll speak forever. But yeah, those, the transitions, the actors, the soundscape, or the score, the way that I treated the shots themselves, just the choices. I feel like there were a lot of, maybe not a lot, but quite a few, even subtle, unconventional choices that I made that worked for the film and the story that you wouldn't have gotten had you maybe given it to somebody who strictly works in film. So yeah, I think just the overall treatment itself was, you can see that it's like a different hand that was on it. So yeah.
Lastly, any plans to get this film out there, let people see it? Yeah?
For sure. The plan is to obviously enter it into more festivals. Anybody that's willing to partner with the film, because like I said, we haven't shot the entire script. There's like 15 or so pages that we could have done, because it's almost actually feature length. And so anybody that's willing to partner with the film, just getting it out there, getting it to as many screenings as possible. I invited a couple of colleagues, because I would like to actually get it out there to different communities as well, even free screenings, just so that we get the narrative going, not so that people talk about it, but so that it actually lives with them. You know, I like taking the work to the people we say it's for. And so taking it to the people, taking it to the communities, surrounding communities, because we shot it in Soweto. So I need to take it there. And not just to the festival, but to the actual community itself. And that obviously needs partnership. And so, yeah, screenings all year round next year, partnerships, whatever happens. I'm prayerful and hopeful for that.
Fantastic. How can people get in touch with you?
My email address is my name dot my surname at icloud.com. My Instagram is @sheisawande. I don't use Facebook. I don't really use Twitter either. I have it, but I don't use it.
Cool.
So Instagram is @sheisawande. Otherwise, email account awande.dube@icloud.com. Phone number, I won't say.
No.
And then, yeah, I guess
we'll put that phone number in post.
Yeah. Then I guess, then there's LinkedIn as well, because I also respond there as well. Yeah.
Sis, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you for
You
having
are
me.
a firebrand, and I know we are in store for so much coming from you. You know, being a part of your process is a very educational experience, you know, because once you're in the spirit, one just stands and is in awe of this energy that takes over you. I've been witness to it, you know, and I think they don't know what's coming.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
ma'am.
Marcus. Appreciate it.
Sure.